Welcome back to the Malted Man Cave. I'm Keith.
I'm Dave.
And tonight we're going to be reviewing a whiskey from Dalmore, a very, very famous distillery. Some say it's not as good as it used to be. So I guess we'll find out.
Some say.
Some say. So I guess we're going to find out tonight, coming up. Alright, so we're back. Tonight, as I said, we're going to be reviewing a Dalmore whiskey. So I picked Dalmore 12 for the whiskey that we're going to be reviewing this evening. Actually, it's the second whiskey we're reviewing this
You've been getting down on that whiskey while I've been gone.
Yeah, but maybe not necessarily for the reasons.
Foreshadowing what may come.
So, a little bit about Dalmore. Dalmore is very much like Macallan. It's very, very well known. It's held in high regard. People think the stag is cool, and many a new Scotch newbies have fallen for the stag. Now, I'm not saying there's not any good Dalmores, because there is. I personally think that Dalmore is not as good.
Don't play your hand yet.
As it used to be. And one of the big reasons is because they kind of do a lot of chill filtering. A lot of the ABVs of the whiskey is like 40%. I don't know. I just feel like they've become like Macallan, and there are some still great Macallans out there.
They're popular.
They have become a victim of their own success. Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A little bit more. Dalmore was founded, I believe, in 1839. There's this whole story about the stag that I think, like the 12, and like the 1239, somewhere around in there. Some Scottish clan member saved the king from like a charging stag, I believe. Dude, King Alexander III.
Have you ever seen the giant stags that used to roam Great Britain back in the day?
Those things, they
like
mess
the
around.
Prehistoric ones.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They'd gut you. I actually have a fun. Tim,
just saying.
Tim, scary. Yeah. So we went on a trip to Jackson Hole in Wyoming, and then we went up to Yellowstone National Park. And it's funny, he is the biggest wuss for like a bad A F-16 fighter pilot who's like been in battle, he's like been shot at, but he's like the biggest wuss. And I don't have time to tell you all the different reasons why, but literally.
You've been called out, Tim.
I hope you watch this.
Something happened.
But we were out to eat in Jackson Hole, and they have like literally moose that are... Moose? Yeah, moose is plural. Moose, yeah. That were like roaming around, and like we were like got close. And he was like hiding in the back, and then he like realized his wife was like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Go." And I realized that moose can gore you. And
oh yeah.
There are some times but typically they're not going to, and we weren't that close. So I don't know. Something about that reminded me of when we were talking about the stag. So
he was getting out of there.
Anyways, this gentleman saved King Alexander III.
A similar story.
And he granted them the rights on their family crest to have the 12-point stag, I believe. And apparently Dalmore is around that area and somehow connected to that guy. A little bit more, Dalmore is even more famous for their famous malt master, Richard Patterson. He's known for being like really charismatic and crazy. Just if you watch any of his interviews, and after this you should go watch some of them.
All right.
He's just he's taking done like a line of coke, and he's like, and then you got to smell this, and he's like, he has this whole thing of how you smell. He's like, so when you're smelling whiskey, you take it and you say, "Hello, how you do?" Pretty good, thank you.
Oh wait, I've seen him. I've seen it. Yeah.
And he's known. And hold on, do you have any water?
No.
Dang it. He literally, in some of his interviews, he's like taken like $4,000 bottle of whiskey and like poured it. And his big thing, and I think he does it for the shock and awe value. I really don't think he says you have to prime the glass. So he pours like this really expensive whiskey, swirls around and like throws it on the ground. He's like, now it's ready to be drank. So he's just really known for being
eccentric.
He's crazy.
Yeah, eccentric.
Eccentric is a nice word for him. So
he's good. Yeah, he's good at what he does, and he loves what he does.
So enough blabbering. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's polish this baby off.
Let's polish it. So I'm gonna start us off. So immediately on the nose, I get plums.
Finish it.
Apricot. Yeah. So I get plums, apricot, and then I put Splenda sugar substitute. Now, I put that down not as a compliment. It's like you can tell you're getting a cheap substitute. Like it lacks like richness. It's like these sherry casks were like poor quality cask, third fill. It's almost like the sherry that they got only held like crappy sherry for like 4 weeks, and then it was sent to Scotland to be filled. I don't know what it is. It just lacks like richness. It lacks body. It just smells cheap.
I was gonna say it tastes manufactured.
Yeah, that's funny you put that because I actually wrote that down. Did you steal my notes?
Are you serious right now? Because I swear I didn't.
Look at the board.
I promised on Solly.
Look at the board that we don't have on the right. Manufactured. See, it's just such a connoisseur now, Dave. Anyways, so they're probably like, these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so plums, apricot, Splenda, sugar substitute, Manuka honey, nutmeg, light clove. It's just, and to be honest, when I first opened this, like I literally was going to give it a 70 out of 100. Like it was that bad. Now, I will say this, as it's aerated, as I've had it for a while, and with, half full or 3/4, it has gotten better. It has gotten better. But still, it just seems like the casks aren't good. The 40% ABV, like you just don't get as much flavor. The coloring, the chill filtering. I don't know. What do you get?
It's so funny. I swear I didn't look at your note to see that. I did.
And we don't have a note for
salty.
it,
I asked him, is this one of those seaside ones? Because me off the bat, it reminded me of a little salty. And then I wrote medicinal, not in a good way medicinal. You can definitely tell that it's a sherry, but once again, it's that manufacture. It wasn't, and it wasn't as strong to me. I could distinctly, I said, "Oh, Keith, I like this whiskey because everything is pretty recognizable. Like all of my smells, I got right away." And I said it in a way that kind of appeared that maybe I'm really enjoying this whiskey. And
I told him, I was like...
He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa!
Give it what score you like, but
just
you should know.
So then after the sherry notes, it smelled rubbery to me, like a wet rain boot kind of rubbery. Like a very...
Rain boot.
Yeah, well, smells get more potent with the higher the humidity level. It just reminds me of that. Tobacco, and then the last thing, just has a damp smell to it. A dampness.
So on the palate, I put immediately, first thing in my notes, I wrote...
Dalmore, damp.
I put taste watered down. Just because it's 40% ABV... chill filtered, it just doesn't have any like substance to it. So again, you get a little bit of the raisin. I mean, some of the notes popping out are kind of pleasant. It's just not rich. But raisins, like black tea and honey, like if you have tea, pour honey into black tea, like after you would drink it, kind of how that would taste. A little bit of biscuits and butter. Again, that kind of cheap Splenda, like fake sugary substitute, saccharin note, raspberry and plum marmalade, which is slightly pleasant, and then almost like a cheap dry bitter dark chocolate, like the cheapest like off-brand Walmart brand that you can possibly get.
Like a resembles dark chocolate.
Right. What about you?
For me, there definitely is a little sweetness to it, but like what you said, it's not a lasting sweetness. And it's entirely too smooth of a drink. I said it was too smooth, and right after that, I wrote watery.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, I swear I didn't look at any of your notes when I was writing that.
I believe you're just kidding.
But it's and it could be because coming from the review that we did right before this one was I was drinking a much stronger one that. But it definitely, even without that, even if it was if this was the only thing I was drinking on all night, it tastes like I've already added water to it. And yeah.
Starting to like the higher ABVs now, huh?
Oh, I've always liked that.
Can you now see like how like the higher the ABV, the more like flavor is kind of packed in there?
Yeah, the more complicated it is, I would put it that way.
Complicated?
The more flavor, the more I have to sit there and really think about it, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, on the finish...
Oh, wait, I didn't even finish mine. I said pepper, menthol tobacco, and then the saltiness continues.
Yeah. I guess now that you say that, there is a little saltiness. And this is a Northern Highland distillery. I used to know exactly where this is. I'm not sure if it's...
It's not coastal, though.
Did you look it up?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it is or not. I know it's close to Inverness. So, for me, the finish is really short. Just short, watered down. I still have that, like, saccharin sugar substitute note. A little bit of Plumbs, raisins, and a little bit of... like the raspberry marmalade, maybe a little honey, like from that black tea and honey, like that last after you take a sip of something like that. But it's just there and it's gone. Not very long at all. What about you?
Now, for me, I feel like the finish was, if there was any redeeming part of it, it was the finish to me, because I felt like a lot of those terrible, the damp rain boots and the medicinal and stuff like that kind of fades away, and you're left with like a raisiny sweet. But once again, it's like it's like somebody was distilling in their garage and had an idea for what it should taste like, and they got all these different things and mixed it together, and just Dalmore, to me, no more.
It's like whatever cask they use was like the bottom of the barrel. No pun intended. It was the bottom of the barrel, like the worst. Like the shipment did not come in, so we gotta find something right now to use.
Does anybody have a bottle of sherry we can just dump into this?
Exactly. Have you ever had sherry?
Yeah, it's not good, or it's not like something that you're gonna get drunk on. Have you ever seen Anna Green Gables?
Yes.
Don't they like it? Or cherry cordial?
Cherry cordial.
Not.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Yes. It's actually, if you get good sherry, it's not.
Have you ever seen Anna Green Gables?
Yeah.
We're so cool.
Dave just said Anna Green Gables. Our mothers were thespians, okay? They made us watch the theater.
Whatever, man.
Actually, we were in that play, remember, in junior high? And we did it because we wanted to go flirt with girls that were in the plays.
Hey, smart thinking.
So, malted, actually, I want you to go first. What is your malted man cave mark?
74.
The one time I wanted to be like the lowest. So, original 74.
A 74. I put some thought into it.
A 74 out of 100. Is that really how where you think it's at?
Man, I brought it up. I mean, I just want to be something.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat. And that's what I said. Like, so the first thing I said was, this smells like... Edit.
What?
Do you remember when I put it up to my nose as soon as you poured it, and I was like...
I don't know, what did you say?
I said it smells like barf.
Really? Nothing like some notes of vomit?
But I mean...
bile and...
I was more teasing him because of the sherry, but it...
Because Dave loves Dang it, Dave. I wanted to be the one to like drop the bomb. Like I was going to be like 78, like worst score ever. And you had to like trump me. Dang it, Dave. So originally this was literally going to be like a 70 out of 100. It has opened up, and as I'm drinking this, it's not as bad as I was originally planning on marking it. I would say this is a 78 out of 100 for me.
It's already beyond the 8 ball with me because I just had a really delicious bourbon right before it, and
Exactly.
then you're
And this is specifically, this video is dedicated to Hoagie Bear, who has been busting my balls about, you know, some of the higher scores that we give. But I do want to say this in our defense. Being a newer channel, a lot of the whiskey that I've had on hand in my collection is stuff that before I started reviewing that I bought because I liked it.
Yeah.
So later on, the longer the channel's around, you know, we go through all the stuff that I had already had. We're going to get new stuff that I haven't tried. And there'll probably be stuff that I don't like as much. So the scores will slowly go farther down. Maybe. Or we're just positive people and we're drunks who like whiskey. And we can find redeeming qualities in anything.
I think a 74 out of 100 is still good. I mean, that's a...
No, you don't.
That's a D.
A 74 Dalmore. All right, here's the deal. I've heard that the Dalmore King Alexander is really freaking good. I'd love to try it because I hear everybody and people that I respect, you know, who know their stuff about say it's really good. But Dalmore 12 and Dalmore 15 I've been really disappointed with. So hopefully they'll take note and start creating a better quality product.
Yeah.
So without further ado, will you introduce the question of the night?
What was that? What were we going to talk about?
Dave has been on his game tonight.
Oh, man.
It's Friday night. We both worked hard.
Give me a second. What was it? Just give me a hint.
Early onset Alzheimer's.
Oh, I got it. We both are lucky enough to have... wait, was it father?
No. I'll take it from here. Just go home, Dave.
Give me the word.
We're going to turn this into one of my single reviews.
Give me
Bye.
What was the question?
All right, so we're getting close to Valentine's Day.
Oh!
No, you're done.
See, we had multiple leading up to this. What is the most romantic date or
that we have ever arranged for a loved one?
Yeah.
You know, or the way that we proposed,
yeah,
or whatever. So I'll let you lead off.
Oh man,
fail.
I know, my bad, dude. Dude, I was thinking about Dalmore.
I'm gonna get him to like cups of coffee the next time before he comes over. Get him a couple lines of Coke to wake him up.
Okay, so my wife and I, we
pour this out.
pour it on the curb.
I'm being a little facetious, guys.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah. So my wife and I, growing up, her room was on a second floor of her house. And she had a little balcony, like, off of her window. It wasn't, a door didn't really go out to it. Or it did, but it was closed off. Anyways, in high school, she had a curfew. I never had a curfew, so I would drop her off.
You didn't?
No.
In high school?
Yeah, never had a curfew at all. But I would always come home, like, at a decent time. Like, my parents just, they were like...
That's why I love going over to his house.
No, I was a good kid. I never made them question. Anyways, so, but they should, apparently, after this story. So I would drop Hallie off. She would say goodnight to her parents and go up. I would wait in my car until her parents went to bed, like 20 minutes later. And then I would climb up her fence onto the tree, over to her balcony, crawl in through her window.
Nice.
So, oh man, there's so many stories about it. She had her grandmother was living with her for a little bit, and her grandmother had Alzheimer's, and her room was right next door to Hallie's. And
you didn't see anything in Grandma. It's all in your head. I'm not believing right now.
She had gone through the stage where she thought she went to school with George W. Bush, and that she did like cheerleading with him, or not cheerleading, did something with him. And so she was talking crazy. And then she started saying, I think Dave's sneaking in at night. I can hear his voice.
Like, you're just, you know, go lay down,
like, Grandma,
you're crazy. You know,
like, yeah, oh, poor sweet woman. So anyways, to propose to Hallie, I took her to the restaurant that we loved with her parents. I had already asked her dad. Her dad was kind of a tough nut to crack, but he loves me now. I mean, he loved me then. He knew I was a good guy. So took her parents. They were in on it. While we were all out to eat, she has 2 younger brothers. I got them to go back and light. I bought like a 100-pack of tea candles, and they lit them all over her balcony, and they closed, like, she had a big blind so she couldn't see it, and I dropped her off like old school and said goodnight to her, and then her parents kept her busy downstairs, and I ran around to the back of the house, climbed up onto the balcony, and I was waiting for her, and I had a little boombox that was playing our Brian McKnight song.
Nice.
And I
the
knocked.
One?
No, it's called Still, and it's anyways, it's not like
I like this song.
So knock on the window, and she comes out, and we slow dance, and then I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good. Mine's kind of similar. Anyway, but before I get to mine, I want to say something a little bit about crazy old people with Alzheimer's. So my grandpa, you know, my mom's dad.
Yeah.
You never met him, but you knew Lillian. You
Yeah.
knew his wife.
Yes.
Anyways, and you know, sometimes Alzheimer's, you know, obviously it's really sad and it's really hard to see someone that you love go through it. But you kind of have to laugh with them to like get over it, because otherwise, if you,
it's so terrible. It's so terrible.
So I think, you know, I know my grandpa would be happy, like we're joking and not laughing at him, but laughing with him.
Yeah.
So one of the things when he had Alzheimer's, like he somehow got it in his mind that napkins were money. So
I remember you telling me.
So we'd be like sitting at the table, like getting ready to pray before our meal, and like my grandpa would be, I'd open my eyes, look, and he'd be like, stealing people's napkins. He put them in his little shirt pocket, and he had like this in his room, in his closet. He had like a stack of like napkins like this tall. But the coolest thing and like the nicest thing, because he was like, if you did something nice, or if you like did, he'd hand you a napkin. He's like
I'll take care of you.
I got you, bro.
I got you.
So just a funny story. So the way I guess we're doing proposals. We can't talk about the other girlfriends, you know, in case our wives watch.
There were no other girlfriends.
Exactly. So the way I proposed to my wife is I retraced every step of our first date. So our first date, I took Lindsay to the Columbus Zoo. So we went there first. Then after that, then we went to P.F. Chang's, which is like a higher end, like Chinese. Is it Thai or is it Chinese? Korean? Asian fusion. So we went there. And as soon as we did that, I think Lindsay was starting to like put them things together. Then after that, we went out for a drink at the Fado Irish Pub, which is in Columbus, Ohio. And I actually kissed her on the first date, and it was there. So obviously, I arranged to have the same seats that we sat in, because I remembered. You know, I gave her a kiss. I ordered the same thing that I got the last time. I'm not sure if she did. So she's already starting to like think about this, because she kind of knew, like, most people know when you're getting close to getting engaged that it might be coming soon. So then after that, on the way, you know, I took her home, didn't propose or anything yet. And at my apartment at the time, I had my mom, I set up some of it with rose petals just all over the apartment, candles everywhere. I'm like impressive. Like people do roses and they do candles, but I went like way overboard and spent a lot of money on it. And then I had John Mayer, Your Body is a Wonderland on repeat going. And then my mom had chocolate fondue.
Man.
It's always the chocolate fondue.
Fondue it.
Fondue?
Do it again.
Fondue. So we got there, and obviously I got down on one knee and I proposed, and you know, it was all she wrote after that. So we dedicate this
both of those women left
to
us
our wives who hate this channel and hate whiskey,
but love us.
But we will dedicate this video to you. So
we dedicate Dalmore 12 to you.
Dalmore 12. This one's for you, Hoagie Bear. A 78 and a 74 out of 100. Do not go out and get Dalmore 12. It is not Malted Man Cave approved.
If you're into mediocrity.
If you're into very, very, very mediocre, go get it. Dalmore, get your stuff together so we can start to support you again. Like, subscribe. Thank you guys for spending time with us. Just launch it.